In the theaters, pretty regularly, usually 2-3 times a month. Almost every day.
Say 10, not that much.
About 100.
Twice a month, roughly. I go every 2 weeks.
Like I'm go every 15 days I go once or twice.
人々にとって映画館はどのような存在なのだろうか。映画の都ロサンゼルスで道行く人に聞いてみると、ある課題が浮き彫りになった。
I grew up in the Midwest and movie theaters weren't real close. So, but I mean, even as a kid, 7, 8, 9, 10, that around that range. So it started fairly young.
Well, in the past, I had no choice but to watch the movie in the movie theater. But these days, the internet and everything is so good. I can have access to movies, either YouTube or other sites that I can download. So certainly the frequency of visiting the movie theater has gone down compared to past.
And everyone's reaction to it is cool, so things like that. And it seems more epic. Even like the big summer movies, seeing them on the big screen versus just waiting until they get home. I mean, everyone's got their large TVs and everything, but still, it doesn't really compare to seeing it on a movie screen. I think really the theaters bringing in all the new Dolby sound and 4D and IMAX screens is kind of a way. The 3D stuff is a way to kind of still attract people to the theaters instead of just watching at home all the time.
I mean, I like the sound and the technology that they use. That's what I like it better than being at home. Yeah.
Depends. If if the movie is not interesting, I can wait until they release on DVDs, or I can watch it on Netflix or Amazon Prime. If not, I prefer coming.
We get either college students or we get a lot of older people, probably like 65 and up. And this is just the area, the demographic of the area. So I would say we don't really get families or kids. It's mainly just college students and like older couples. Yeah, so first off would be the switch to digital. We barely switched, I want to say in 2011 is when we converted all the films to showing on a digital projector. Before that, we were still showing 35mm film reels. So it's a relatively new thing. Social media is destroying us, actually. I feel like YouTube and any kind of streaming site where you don't have to come to the theater, it definitely lowers ticket sales. We're super lucky that we have premieres and events, and that's kind of what keeps us in business. We're a historical landmark that keeps us in business. Any other theater, YouTube is killing us, I'm not gonna lie. It's the future of entertainment, I suppose. We've done a few premieres for YouTubers, so I guess you could kind of say that we're just sort of adapting and adjusting to who our audience is. It's easier. I think social media is sort of surpassing film because of the convenience and because there are ways around paying, which is also convenient. And it's just sort of on your own terms. I feel like when it's coming to a theater, a lot of people like the fact that it's sort of, you have to like make an event out of it, which is cool, but a lot of people don't. So in this generation, we're very busy, we're multitasking, but we want to be able to watch movies at the same time, so that's why streaming sites and stuff are doing well.
Something interesting happened. Social media. All of a sudden, people were able to find out about things a lot more easily. And so all of the sort of film geeks that were roaming around independently watching things kind of had a place to come together. And the Turner Classic Movies Film Festival that happens and the channel that runs here in the United States has really brought together people who love to revive cinema.
時の流行や社会状況の変化に伴って映画館の立ち位置はどのように移り変わっていったのだろうか。
Cinema and its development came at very particular times, like at the right moment. Cinema really exploded in the early 20th century because, I think that it was a medium of art that could connect with mass audiences, and our world was getting smaller and smaller, and we were getting closer together, and it was a way for us exploring. I think that those developments in the late 1800s come as a result of, people exploring different mediums of art and testing to see how far they can take art is, originally cinema wasn't considered an art form. It was considered a scientific novelty that nobody would really pay much attention to. It didn't have the same artistic value as painting or sculpture. But I think that it allowed people to investigate the world around them and kind of see where cinema could take them. Well, I think that, the reasons why you have these like movie palaces, these like really large, gaudy structures to celebrate cinema, is because they want cinema to be this big, beautiful art form, similar to that of maybe like opera or, a symphony. And I think that you guys are onto something that, the higher classes wanted to make cinema an occasion just like opera was, or theater, or symphony. So they built these huge structures that look similar to those institutions, making it more of a higher art form and kind of establishing it as this isn't an art to be enjoyed by the masses, this is an art to be enjoyed just by us, the elites.
Going to the movies used to be an event. People tell me that when they came here in the 50s, they remember like wearing gloves and being all dressed up, and it was like a date night that was a special event. And that kind of experience people may still hang on to a little bit in terms of the idea that they're going to go somewhere and they're going to see a movie with other people, the smell of popcorn in the air, that it's a presentation. And some people get it and some people just don't. We're fortunate that we have a large audience of people in Los Angeles that do understand the value of seeing a movie on the big screen, or seeing a special print of a movie, or perhaps coming to see a movie with the filmmaker in person. So there's a number of reasons why people would come here to see something. We have people that are very intent on continuing to watch films on film. And so they're always asking us, are you really going to show that on film, or is it going to be a digital cinema package, or what is it going to be? And the format of it is meaningful to them. We've been working actually on our projection booth. We're getting a new digital video projector, but our 35 millimeter and 70 millimeter equipment will sit side by side with it. We've updated a lot of the wiring, and so that we can have state-of-the-art sound and everything. So this theater was built first. It opened on October 18th, 1922, and it is the home of the first Hollywood movie premiere. Before that, there were no big premieres in Los Angeles. They were all happening on the East Coast. So this theater has a lot of history. On the opening night, Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks and Charlie Chaplin, who were all really, really famous silent film stars, were here in person, and the film that was shown was Robin Hood, starring Douglas Fairbanks. And so some of the big films that played here were Ben-Hur, starring Charlton Heston in 1959, My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn in 1964, and the last big Hollywood premiere was Funny Girl in 1968 with Barbra Streisand. It was no longer a first-run movie palace, really. You could see two films here for $1.50, which was the price of the highest price ticket in the 1920s. Water damage from rain and over the years. So the plaster started to disintegrate, and then it just started to fall out. So we got a grant recently from the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and they're aiming to get all of this restored again. So we're very excited that it'll be back to what it looked like before.
Yeah.
So, film that came here in 1955 that changed the theater was Oklahoma. And for that film, they demolished the columns and the proscenium arch so that they could widen out the screen. And that has been gone since 1955. We weren't obligated to put it back because it was an interior modification, and really the landmark is for the exterior. So the history of the multiplex is that it was really financially more beneficial for theater owners to have more than one movie playing at the same time, because every time you choose a movie, it's a gamble. You never know if the audiences will love the movie and come for weeks on end. And so by having, it started out, I think, with like 3 to 6, and now we have multiplexes, especially in Asia, that have quite a few theaters. So you can show a lot of different movies, and if one doesn't do well, you hope that 2 and 3 do better. So it was really about theater owners being able to stay in business and make a buck by doing that. What it did to the single screen movie palaces is they really took a hit because they were way too big to just be one theater. And what has happened now is that some single screen theaters that are being run by nonprofits in the United States actually are able to survive because they're showing specialty programming. They're showing retrospective films. They're doing special conversations with filmmakers in person, that kind of thing that brings in an audience above and beyond people that would just come to the theater. 3D filmmaking kind of died out after the 1950s when they were trying to get people to come to theaters to see a spectacle they couldn't get on their TV set. And then the electronic revolution kind of gave movie theaters the same hit in the early 2000s because suddenly there was decent enough sound equipment, large enough TV screens that people felt content at home just playing a DVD of their favorite movie. The experience for them. I've been with the American Cinematheque, the nonprofit that owns and operates the Egyptian and also programs the Aero Theater for actually 24 years. We've been here at the Egyptian for almost 18.
ロサンゼルスの大学で映画メディアを専攻している学生に話を聞いてみた。
That the cinema is still a powerful thing because it's a social environment. So just like in Tokyo and Japan, like you're telling me, a lot of people go with their friends. A lot of people still use the cinema to bond with other people. So that's something that still happens. I've noticed speaking of the chains in LA, a lot of them have really interesting kind of gimmicks to get audiences in there, like really comfortable seats, even like reclining chairs and things like that, which are really kind of attractive when you're going in. Are like was it 4D or 4DX, the kind of shaking seats, all these things to kind of really immerse you or something. I think this is all good fun for the consumer, based on the kind of the need for people to come in. You have a lot of entertaining things for the audience, but yeah, you've definitely seen an evolution with all these like gimmicks that are kind of being used by the chains.
Well, I think people are always going to enjoy theaters as a nostalgic experience, especially if they already have loved it. I didn't go to the theater as much as a child either, so I think people who already love theater from the start are never going to stop loving it. I do think that my impression of like technologies that are like virtual reality or 4D are mainly found in amusement parks. So I don't really see it in real life, or like not in real life, but in theaters. You're going to like a 4D show. I don't really see that happening unless you're seeing a continuation of 4D or you're experiencing 4D for 2 hours, which is a bit much.
I think we like having options, and we want to keep both views of exposition available to us, so they want to continue the movie going because that has such a appeal to a community and sense of viewership with other people in the audience with you, and you can do that with your friends, you can do that with a large number of people, whereas home viewing through those internet and online sources, it's more of a personal experience and is used for different reasons.
皆さんどうもありがとうございました。最後に取材を受けてくださった人からのメッセージです。
Grows up, but we really encourage parents to take their kids at least to experience what a movie theater is like. We hope the tradition will continue because there really is no experience like seeing a movie 60 feet wide, larger than life on the big screen where you're not being distracted.